Welcome to Knox Makers Tuesday night. I'm glad to see everyone here tonight. We have 5 show and shares tonight, and first up is Zach with some graphite molds. Where did he go? There he is.
Hello, everyone. Hello. All right. Well, I actually just finished these today. These are some graphite molds. How does this work?
You put your thing underneath the light.
Okay, I'm going to put it on this pad because it is graphite.
This out of the way.
Oh, that works.
And then there's a zoom here.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's Knox Makers.
So, messing around with some graphite with my fiber laser at the house. A buddy of mine in South Carolina was actually wanting some coin molds for his casting. So I figured I'd test mold making on graphite. Yeah, that's really about it.
What will you cast?
Do what? Oh. Then, however that, yeah, you guys see that. Do what? Oh, so I bought a block of graphite off of Amazon, took that and put that on a CNC machine to cut out the main frame with a 1-degree taper bit, just for easy demold, and then ripped our image off the internet and turned it into a vector and lasered it into the bottom of the mold.
Yeah, I had to ask if the corners are beautiful. They're very beautiful. And it's hard to get that kind of accuracy by hand, I know.
Thank you.
What will you be casting?
Anything really. These are for out in the blacksmithing shed when we get to casting, so aluminum, brass, bronze, anything else that we can, I guess, in theory, liquidate.
Food, chocolate. No?
I wouldn't do it with the graphite.
How strong are they?
I mean, they're decently strong, but I wouldn't throw them. It's basically a giant piece of pencil lead. You can draw with it. Any other questions?
You can mold your metal and then mark your mold, or mark your metal.
Pretty much.
Very nice. That will be fun to use for casting. Next we have Russell, who has a lamp.
Surprise, Russell made a lamp. Nothing exciting this week, just a lamp.
Lamps are always exciting.
Oh, well, thank you, thank you. So we've got your, is that good, Billy?
Yeah.
Basic cigar box. Put the guts inside like so. So this one is like super simple, nothing to it, no dimmer, no anything. Just a switch on off. Got these treasures from an estate sale for nearly nothing. Actually, I have a whole box of these things. That's one reason I wanted to make this. Maybe crank out something, make good Christmas presents I can sell for pretty cheap. Basic on-off switch. And it's got one of those funky flame bulbs in it. I guess I should have had that ready for Thanksgiving, huh? So that's all there is to that one. Update on the laser tube lamp. I've ordered some parts that are going to be really cool. So please be patient. It is coming along slowly but surely. Want to make sure we get it just right. So stay tuned. I'll keep you updated. Thank you.
Third paired up. We have Adam Williams with a gear table.
Quite literally. So I don't know how I'm going to get this on the little projector. Where you want it? Right here? Okay, so the idea behind this is my fiance and I went down to New Orleans a few weeks ago for her grandmother's funeral. Very sad occasion, but after the funeral, we went to a, what would you call it, a reception, receiving? I'm not going to use the word party, but we went to a gathering of family and friends that had lots of booze at her uncle's house. And in her uncle's backyard, he had this little table. He's an interior designer. He had this table that was made out of an old water meter cover. And in New Orleans, the old water meter covers, they had like Crescent City and cool designs on it. And I thought it was just the coolest thing ever. It was just like this rusty lump of metal we were sticking our drinks on, and it was so cool looking. So I went to one of the junk stores over on Broadway and just started fiddling around looking for something round and metal and rusty. And I found this gear, this larger gear right here, and this smaller inset gear. There was actually 5 of those smaller ones, but I only needed the one. And welded them together, and then hand forged some legs out of some steel, steel bar. Welded them on there. Had to make a little adjustment to one of the legs today because it wasn't quite right, but I'm kind of happy with the look of it. I think my welds are hot garbage and need to go back over them, but apart from that, it holds a gin and tonic pretty effectively.
Question, where's the junk store? I'm curious.
I went to, it was Architectural Antics on Broadway. They're kind of right there at the first part of Broadway, not too far past the I-40 overpass where like the rescue ministry and stuff are. 2-3 blocks past that maybe, on the right.
They have some good lamp junk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they
There's all kinds of, like, if you ever want 40-year-old windows, they have a room full of them. Like, it's crazy how much rusty crap they have in there that's just awesome.
my kind of place.
Right. Cool.
How much does it weigh?
15 pounds maybe?
How many?
What's that?
How many?
Maybe 15? I don't know, I'm bad with weights, clearly.
What are the legs made out of?
What's that?
What are the legs?
They're just some steel bar I found in the blacksmithing shop underneath the big orange rack that I torch cut them to length and then heated them up in the forge and bent them where I needed them.
The thing you have the legs attached to, is that from the gear down?
Yes, so this right here, from the top piece to this is one giant metal hunk. There was a large opening in this top of this gear. I just put it through that, welded it through, and then conveniently the snap ring fit back on to mask the weld a little bit.
Awesome.
Cool. It'll be over here if anyone wants to look closer at it. Just don't judge my welds too hard.
Be careful leaving your rusty metal things around. Adam might steal them, or someone else might steal them.
What I do?
Don't leave your rusty metal things around the shop.
Oh, no, absolutely. They'll get
I mean, that's general good advice because it might become someone's project. A lamp, right? Next up, we have Isaac with also lights.
Hello, friends. I have a silly project to share with you this evening. I was recently gifted this thing, which is, it's a USB connected MIDI controller device that's intended to control like proprietary music production software. And so obviously I needed to make it do something. It's got like 80 buttons, and each of these buttons can light up. It's got a red and a green LED underneath it, each of which can light up at 3 levels. And so you can, in theory, mix them to get 16 different colors. It's a little aspirational. But I like to write Python code. I find that very pleasing and relaxing. And so as just a goofy project, I wanted to see what I could get this thing to do. So I was hopeful that maybe somebody had already worked out how to make Python talk to it. And of course they had. There's like 3 different libraries to choose from, so I had it working right away. This is, oh gee, you're not gonna be able to see that very well, are you? That's disappointing. This is just sort of a proof of life. So basically I've lit each of these edge LEDs with one of the 16 alleged colors, and you can choose one by touching it, and then having done so, you can sort of paint with your fingers. So obviously that's not great shakes, but it meant that I had the thing working, and so then I could move on to a project. And so maybe y'all can relate to this. Sometimes I get these harebrained ideas and they just won't go away unless I do them for no real reason. So I've been wanting to make this sort of like an old school hack and slash dungeon crawler like gauntlet for no good reason. And I also really like the old 1980s handheld games, you know, where you really had to use your imagination because the technology was so crude, which is this. So this is my dungeon crawler running on a launch pad. And now this top row is your health. And so you've got 4 health right now, or I guess I do. And this is my inventory, which is sadly empty. And then here's a little room that I'm in right now. This little blinky dot is me. There's a door, and there's a treasure chest. And so if I touch somewhere, then my little character will walk over there. And so if I walk over to this door, that actually doesn't work. You can't see that very well, but it's showing me this padlock because that door is locked. And so if I go over here to this treasure chest, now I've got a key. If I walk over here, I can use the key in my inventory to unlock the door, and now I can move in there. Do you see that scrolling effect? Probably not. I'm really proud of that. That was hard. So here's a corridor that I'm in now. I've got left and right doors, so we'll go left. And if we go in here, then you can see sort of a round room. There's a scary red monster in there. Each of the monsters has got statistics. So like, you know, we've got health, we've got speed. They also have a perception range. So like he can't see me just yet because I'm a little bit too far away. But he also has curiosity, so he may eventually get bored and wander around and find me. So I'm going to try and attack him. And I got a health potion. Now we're fighting, and it's very bloody. And now I've defeated him, and now I got a bomb. So it goes on like that. There's really no purpose to this whatsoever, but it was fun for me to put together. Of course, there's infinitely better games available, but I enjoy doing things from first principles and figuring out, you know, how do you make the clock work? How do you make fighting work? And all that sort of thing. So it was fun to me. And I used my first proof of life thing, the painter tool, to design the dungeon and then to design each of the icons and then fed that into the main script. So I'm going to post this Python code boldly into the coding channel so that you can tease me about it. If you've never coded before, if you've never used Python or maybe just never made a game, you might be interested to have a look at it. So it'll be there later for you to tease me about. And that is my thing.
Hold it up you can see the lights a lot better when it's not under the thing. Could you just like hold it up so people can see the lights?
Where?
Just stand there and hold it. See? They are brighter.
Yeah, they're not
That's
as
all.
loud as you want them to be. They're a little disappointing.
Last on our list we have Arno with some kinetic art. Does it light up?
No,
That's okay.
not this version. This is just the prototype. Where's the backlight for this? Lamp? Is that it? It's really hard to see. So, I got this idea from Steve Mold, a YouTuber, and he got it from an old toy called Atomics. It's essentially an acrylic case, and inside are little balls, and it basically, it's a model of how atoms arrange themselves in metals. So it's a really cool thing. You can see different things. So like this right here, this hole where there's not a ball, that's called an inclusion. It's a void where there's no atoms. It's really hard to see, but you can also see different lines where there's balls that are arranged very regularly, and then they have this line where there's a disconnect, and then they're back to being arranged, and that's called like a grain boundary. And so I decided to go ahead and make myself one of these, and I also decided to take it a step further, and I added these smaller orange pellets that are impossible to see on here. But that's to model smaller atoms like boron or carbon that are inside the steel. And there's one more thing you can do with it, but it'll be hard to do it on here because this thing keeps auto-focusing. But if you shake it, that's essentially like raising the temperature of the metal because the atoms jump around more and your grains get bigger. And it's pretty much impossible to see here. It's a much better demonstration like in person if you're just holding it. So later on, if you just want to hold that and look at it and try it out for yourself, go ahead. So yeah. Any questions?
How many balls?
This is about 3,000. Which earlier today ended up all over the floor. So that was not fun. I eventually made myself like a little origami sheet of paper. I took one of the brown sheets and folded it up into a cube so that if anything fell out, it fell into the paper.
Where's that? You can show that off too.
It is on the table out there. I didn't think anybody would be interested in that. They're steel. They're not inherently magnetic right now. I did actually take a magnet to this, and you are able to pull them. So it's doable. Any other questions?
Can you induce magnetic effects by adding a charge?
You mean like an electric charge?
Yes.
I've seen people do that with wool. I tried it. I didn't have very good effect, probably because my material is too thick. This is almost 6 mils thick. So I will be making a second version of this that is less crappy with the laser cutter on Saturday. So props to that. Other questions?
What do the little ones do? I mean, do they, like, if you shook it enough, do they come together?
Actually, I tried that. When I first put them in, I put them on one side, and then I shook it, and they slowly diffused through the material, which was really cool to see. It's a very good model of reality. They also these ones like to sit at the boundaries between two lattice structures. So you'll have a lot of steel balls that are very regular, and in between there'll be a line, and that's where the orange balls like to sit.
And those are 4 millimeters?
The steel balls are BBs, so they're 4.5. The plate is 6. Actually, it was too thick, and they kept like stacking on top of each other, like falling over. So I added a very thin sheet to make it a little bit better. When I do it again, I'm probably going to use 3/16 acrylic, so it's just barely bigger than the ball, so they don't do that.
I know you mentioned that the other red balls are the same, like carbon atoms and other atoms that would be in there in the structure. Are they different size for that reason?
Yes. The orange ones are 3 mil, and the BBs are 4.5, so it's about the same size difference between iron atoms and carbon atoms.
And what's the material of the red?
I don't know. It's like some spongy material that it's supposed to absorb water and get bigger, but I don't want that, so they were just the right size.
And is the inside of the device, is that under a vacuum?
No, I didn't. All right. Any other questions? All right.
Did anyone not get on the list?
I'd like to go on the list.
All right, come up.
My project's in there.
Well, quick, run, get it. I tried to convince her before. She must have changed her mind. While she's not in here, I will say that if I've anyone here, if I've emailed them about getting a key, you should come up to the front when this is over because there's a lot of people here that I think need keys.
You guys have a project, or you just think about experience?
Sorry?
You guys have a project, or you just want to speak from experience?
Do you want to put it under here?
Yeah. It's a little big. I didn't have time to finish it, but.
Let's zoom out. Let me stay still. Move it up more.
Look at this. Getting there.
Good job.
Or we pull it the other way. Well, so you want to show it this way? Just like
Oh,
out?
Yeah, so
yeah.
now you can see it close up, but then we'll hold it up. There, you can hold it up. Oh, you can turn the camera. What?
Hi.
Would you like to tell about your project?
Yes. So I tried to make everybody on my piece of paper, but I didn't have enough time, and we got here early, and my dad had to weld, so I got markers and decorations, and I made a few people. As you can see, there's a guy with pink hair on it. It's him right there. Well,
It's beautiful.
thank you. And it's also going to be staying here. So
Add more people, right?
yes,
She's adding everyone.
yes, eventually.
Tom pose for her afterward.
Yes. So this was my project, and it's called Everybody Works at Knox Makers. Goodbye, and have a good night.
Thank you, it's beautiful. Anyone else didn't get on the list? No? All right, well, maybe next week. We have a couple classes this week yet. On Thursday at 6 p.m. is creating wood inlays. I've seen the products that come out of that class, the projects, and they're great, so you should definitely take that. And if you are also interested in working in the wood shop on Friday, at 7 is Wood Shop 101, which is the class you need in order to do the fun things in the wood shop. It's the authorization class. But also on Friday, if I could convince you, we have new members onboarding, which will be in here for anyone who's a newer member or a trial member or wants to meet all the new people. We'll have donuts in our class, so you don't get to work with the power tools, but you do get donuts. It's gonna be a really tough decision. That's Friday at 7 p.m. Oh, and our class is free, so another bonus here. That's all I've got. If someone would be willing to empty the trash and change the air conditioner filter, especially the one outside the classroom, that would be great. And if you need a key, come talk to me. If you need a tour, talk to the guy with the pink hair.